What's going on, guys? My name is Renegade. Today we're here for AQW Q&A. Today we're on episode 13. This is a bi-weekly series, so leave your questions in the comment section down below to have your questions perhaps featured on the next episode of the series. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I also have a Discord server that you can join by following the link in the description. It's really easy to join. You just click the link, you'll be prompted to create an account if you haven't got one already. The account creation is really easy. You just type your email, your username, and your password, and you don't even need to verify it or anything. You can just jump straight in and start talking to me or any of my other viewers. Other than that, guys, we'll get into the first question of this week's episode. Alright, so our first question this week is coming from Deadly Legion. They asked, is membership really worth it? Why or why not? Also, are you excited for Void Warlord? It's a new nation class. Thank you and keep up the great work. So, the membership situation has really improved over the last couple of months with the Throne of Darkness series and everything coming out. They've pretty much had a free class for members every time a new part comes out, and the classes have been generally pretty decent. Death Knight Lord, I think, was member. I can't actually remember anymore now. That which was an okay class, but Daemon and what's the new one called? I can't remember the name. Draco Warlord have been really good. So if they keep giving out classes like that for pretty much free, you know, they were just gold. It's really sort of upping the value proposition there in terms of membership. I still think that ACs are better because it just buys you more stuff in game. It buys you classes. It buys you pretty much the majority of what people do in the game and take value in the game. But yeah, no, membership is definitely becoming more valuable, and I really do think they're making an effort to make it more valuable. Our second question is coming from New Endings, and they asked, what class do you want AQ Worlds to have a buff? And so by that, I presume he means what class you want to be, what you want to be buffed. So there are quite a few classes, honestly. I hope that they start with the ones that are sort of more unique. So probably there are literally every class probably preceding 2012 at this stage probably need a buff. Very few classes preceding 2012 really don't need a buff, so I'd probably start with classes that are more interesting and fun, like Soul Cleaver, Doom Knight classes like that I'd like to see have buffed. Also, classes that people actually had to pay money for. I know it's like a big thing that there are a lot of free players and they get annoyed when AE spends their time and effort on stuff that free players can't have, but at the end of the day, people are paying money to have these items and classes and such, so I do think they should be buffed first. But I really hope that they start with the unique stuff. Not because it's like a good business thing for them to do, just because it's like fun classes become actually viable. So, yeah. The next question is coming from Delta Legend. They asked, do you think Dage should have more quests and items that are farmable for people who can't buy Undead Warrior? See, the thing is, Undead Warrior is almost like a way of, like, I guess it's like unlocking Dage's stuff, and then Nulgath is almost for free players. I think that's how it goes. I'm from memory, Nulgath can be accessed by free players, whereas Dage can't. So it's almost like Nulgath for free players, Dage is for, like, paying players, and so I do think they should keep that sort of thing, but at the end of the day, I think that all the story-related stuff, all the things that progress the main storyline of AQW, whether it's like involving Dage or Nulgath or whatever, I think it all should be free for everyone. So, yeah, I do think that there should be more quest lines and stuff for Dage, but it's not necessarily a necessity to have more like items and stuff for Dage. I think Dage is kind of like one of those things that's just locked away for paying players. Next question is coming from Vachau, or Vacha, I don't even know. Vachau is probably how it's pronounced, to be honest. Either way, he asked, what are your thoughts and how do you feel about people saying that AQW is dying? Do you agree? Who are your top 3 favorite AQW YouTubers? So, do you think AQW is dying? I do think that it's a lacking game. When it came out in like 2008, it was pretty impressive for a browser game, and it's like, cool, this game is great, it's got potential. And it's because of the engine, obviously. Flash is not great at all, it's pretty awful actually. But yeah, the game really hasn't evolved that much, and so it's inevitable that it's dying. I think they've done a good job of keeping it alive since then, like with all the weekly releases and such, but I really do think that they're gonna eventually transfer their focus over to AQ3D as opposed to AQW, and then eventually it will die. And it is sort of nearing that stage if they don't do something soon. It probably will die fairly soon, but that's probably what they're trying to do with the AQW mobile. They've said they're going to port it over to mobile at some stage, so that'll probably give it some extra life, but I don't know how much they'll do for it. And who are my top favorite AQW YouTubers? My top 3 favorite. I'm going to go with Korey, RedZoneTrooper, and Digital Pig. I'll leave those 3 guys in the description down below. We'll move on to the next question. Our next question is coming from Vaulting Shock. They asked, these are my questions. What is... hold on, I'm just being retarded at this stage. What if our favorite NPC in AQW, i.e. Artix, Cicero, Dage, Norgath, and so on... What? If you were an NPC in the game, what would you represent? Sorry, this just makes no sense. If you were our favorite NPC in AQW, if you were an NPC in the game, what would you represent? Like, okay. Whatever. I think he's asking, who's my favorite NPC, and what would I represent if I were an NPC? So, my favorite NPC in the game is probably Cicero. I think he's just kind of like interesting, I guess. I don't know. He just seems to be more interesting than the other guys. He's got sort of a bit more mystery around him about like what his potential power is about, I guess. You know, he's kind of like a Joker, if you will, but like, you know, he's one of those really powerful guys. And if I were an NPC in the game, what would I represent? So by this I presume you mean like Dage, Norgath, Evil, Good, all that kind of thing. I would be representing Norgath, of course. I'd be like Norgath's sidekick / slave / dungeon boy. It sits down in the dungeon and he pretends that I'm his right-hand man, but really I'm just his slave. Yeah, I'd be that guy. To be honest, that's sort of my dream job, to be Norgath's slave man in the dungeon. So this question's coming from Waltz AQW. They asked, what if AE bans your account permanently and never going to return to your AQW account? What kind of words will you be using? So I'd probably be using words like relief, probably thank God, you know, like it's all over. My nightmare's over. Yeah, probably something like that, to be honest. This next question is coming from Mudit or Mudit. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. They asked, which would be the best class this year until now? So this year we've had quite a few classes. We've had like Abyssal Angel, Death Knight Lord, Daemon, Draco Warlord, Stone Crusher, quite a few really good classes. Actually, I don't know if Stone Crusher came out this year. I'm pretty sure it did, actually. I'd probably crown Stone Crusher as the best class of the year so far. As always, asking what class is the best is, in general, is always a very vague question. You need to sort of specify. I always am part of that mindset that one class is not necessarily better than the other for anything, for everything. So you can't necessarily say that, I don't know, Abyssal Angel is better than Warrior class because a Warrior class might have a certain aspect that's good in a situation. Either way, I'd probably say it would be Stone Crusher or something like Daemon class, maybe. Those two classes sort of really stick out for me as the best classes this year so far. And these questions are coming from, there's like quite a few of them, I think there's 5. Yeah, these are all coming from a guy called Journey. It's spelled Jerny. I don't know how to pronounce it. Maybe it's like Johnny. I don't know, dude. Just however your name's pronounced. He asked, are you watching football? If so, what club are you supporting? No, I'm not at all. I couldn't even name a club if you wanted me to. And it's kind of a vague question, but I suppose for people that do watch that sport, then that's not a vague question either way. I don't watch it at all. Then he asked, which class is better, Daemon or Blazebinder? I'd go with Blazebinder. I think I've already done a video. And his question after that is also, which class is better, Daemon or Blazebinder? What's your first rank 10 rep? Arkengrove was my first one. That was sort of one I really wanted to do. I really wanted to get Shaman. Shaman class at the time was really, really good, so I sort of went and grabbed Shaman class ASAP, and that was sort of my first reputation class. And is it worth buying inventory spaces? And that depends on if you farm a lot. If you farm items and you love collecting items, which a lot of people do in AQW, collecting any type of items. Items obviously take up space, and so buying inventory space is pretty much worth it. I have 200 inventory space, and that's the maximum, and it's really useful to have, being able to have all those classes and stuff in my inventory, even though I only use like 3 of them. It's pretty nice to be able to collect items in large quantities, and also keeping the items necessary to travel to Nolgath is also quite inventory space consuming. Like, you need to have like quite a few items in your inventory to go there. So yeah, it depends on quite a few things, but generally it is worth it to buy inventory space. And our last question this week is coming from the kid Forful. I don't know, dude. That's just a really weird name. And he said, or she said, Renegade, what do you think of reputation classes? I'm a free player, so I've farmed all my classes so far, but the process after 6 rep, what does that say? Process after 6 rep just feels painful, especially classes like Blaze Banner and Stoneweaver. Stoneweaver, I think means Stone Crusher, dude. Reputation classes generally take a long time to farm. Some of them are easier than others, obviously, and some classes are like more powerful than others. And I really do think that the way they should like give you classes is similar to like maybe perhaps games like Warframe, where you have to like build a class, or like in that game it's called Warframes. I think there might be another name for them. I can't even remember, dude. Like, you have to build them after, and you can get like pieces from doing like a quest line or like a storyline little like part or something. And when you kill the boss of like a part, you get like when you kill a boss of a what is it called, like a quest line, I guess. I'm trying to think of the actual name for it. When you kill the boss of like a quest line, you get a part specific to Warframe, and then you collect all the parts and you can build it. That'd be a really good system, although that's not really suited to the MMORPG genre sort of thing. But a system where you can like enjoy yourself while farming for a class is pretty much a good system in my opinion. So I do think that it should be like overhauled in some way, but they're probably going to do something different for AQ3D hopefully. But I don't know, it seems with AQ3D they're copying just what they've done with AQW in a lot of ways, like mechanics and ways that stuff's farmed and such. So I don't know. I do think reputation classes in their current state though are like really tedious and just boring to farm. So yeah, I agree with what you say, especially with Blaze Banner and Stone Crusher, with having to farm multiple reputations to get them. It's really ridiculous. Either way, guys, hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This is a bi-weekly series again, so this comes out every 2 weeks. In between, we've got How Good Is for reviewing classes and such. So if you've got any suggestions for either of those videos, including the questions for this video, then leave those down in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.